Great morning, great morning, great morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Good morning for another Leadership Strategist Tuesday, where you are joining me with my cup of coffee or tea. Today it is tea. It probably will be tea moving forward for me. Um, Leadership Nugget Tuesdays. Leaders, are you building for conflict or collaboration? When you come and join in on this Tuesday morning chat and build strategy for your promotion and so forth like that. I hope that you are coming to pour into your kit so that you can have the transformation that you would want for your Tuesday and for life beyond in your space of leadership. So learning how to kind of let go, going from being stuck to unstuck, invisible to seen, and being able to make those decisions that you need to make and not being an active hidden figure. So good Tuesday morning to you. Thank you for coming in. So this Tuesday we are going to jump in. It is continuing. It is still the month of April, and in the month of April is Stress Management Awareness Month. And as leaders, we deal with stress in a lot of different capacities. So Stress Management Awareness Month, I want to ask you a question this morning. Is time stressing you out? That's our focus this morning. Is time stressing you out? Are you managing tasks and time without stress? Or is your task and how you're managing your time, are they really like driving you? Are they telling you what it is that is effective, important, instrumental, and all the things that would help you sustain your day and morning? Good morning, Mr. Williams. So this is our transformation and accountability for growth and our elevation on how we sit in and outside of leadership, and recognizing that leadership is both personal and professional. So when we navigate the two of them, it's important for us to navigate them effectively. So when we do that, we have to kind of be able to create, good morning, Miss Early. We have to create our opportunities in regards to, are we allowing time to stress us out? So in this conversation this morning, I want to let you know that you are going to walk away with a couple tips, maybe three, as well as a hands-on experience in regards to how it is you may be managing your time, allowing time to stress you out, or are you guys flipping roles here and there? So I thank you for joining me live. I thank you for those who may join me on the replay. If you are here on the replay, share some love, and I'll share some love back with you as well. Time. We hear time is of the essence. We hear so many other things that time can be. But how is stress and time impacting you and your leadership? Oftentimes we're not always being mindful of how we organize our time, how we look at the tasks that we have to do on a day-to-day basis. We're not looking at what our broader scope of things are. And because we don't, when they all collide, when they're all due within a short time frame, we say we've ran out of time. And really, you may have ran out of time as far as clock time and structure time, but did you effectively use your strategies and your skills effectively? Or now are you running around having a tantrum or being dysregulated in your emotions on how you're interacting with everyone around you and how it's impacting your ability to remain successful in how you lead? Remember, leadership is a personal and professional interaction that intersect on a day-to-day basis. So when you effectively are making time, that is a strategy. When you are effectively looking at how it is that you stand in your authority and be able to secure how you will be able to evolve and what it is that you need to eliminate so that this evolving can be successful, you begin to stand in your authority in a variety of different ways that cause you to consider how it is that you are using the hours allowed to you in a day-to-day basis. So when you are looking at time, you always have to kind of look at how can you shift the gears but stay consistent. Shift gears but stay consistent. So when you think about how many gears, how many things, how many responsibilities do you have in that particular day, are you truly aware of what your capacity is, what your blocks of times or what your accessibility to resources, what can you delegate? How can you really build out your personal capacity and invite in those around you, your team, individuals whom you work with, so that you could be the most optimal leader possible, but you're not shouldering everything as far as within your scope and frame of reference on the day-to-day expectation. So shifting the gears is being able to kind of step into what it is that you need to get done, but also being able to step back and recognize, okay, this is what needs to get done. However, how can I reframe this and be consistent and understand where are my strengths around me? And so one of the things that we have when we look at our time is, how do you know where it is that you are spending the most time? Like, what is it on every single thing that you do in a day-to-day basis? Are you using and spending and balancing your time? But the thing about, so I want to do like the dynamic between you being a leader and you having individuals around you. So it's real slippery slope between the ideas and antics around being a boss versus being a leader. Remember, a leader is really kind of open to spending that time to kind of build the rapport and relationship and understanding the strengths of those individuals around them. However, when you don't spend time to kind of teach and guide, you become frustrated. You identify, I shouldn't have delegated it anyway. I should have just kept it to myself. But did you delegate and take the time to clearly state what it was that your expectation was? Or did you delegate with the assumption that all of those conversations that you have in your head was very, very clear to the person of which you were delegating? So oftentimes we assume that people have the same personal perspective and understanding of a task, and that they can go ahead and execute it without confirming what it is that actually needs to get done. So as an effective leader, where you would bridge that gap of time managing you managing time, who is actually the boss in this situation, you would begin to understand that as an effective leader, you know what the overall task is, but you also know what your capacity. You may have a meeting about the meeting that you had yesterday. You might have to strategize to secure more work or secure something additional for the project to be successful. Sometimes those manageable tasks can be delegated, but are you spending the time with your team to build that rapport, to build that synergy, to understand their strengths, and making sure that you are in alignment with what it is that they bring to the table and also what it is that they bring to your ability to effectively meet whatever the deadline is, that you each can learn from each other around not only in this space and in this project, but how it is that you can now mirror what strengths that you can capacity wise, capability wise, project and assign to those around you who are in alignment with the outcomes that are needed. So sometimes we get caught up in the minutia of the different tasks that we have, and we don't take the step back to say, okay, what about this project Do I really need to have my hands involved? And then what about this project? Can I step back and allow somebody else to step in? So it's like, who is managing who? Is there synergy? Is there alignment? Is there accommodations? But also, is there collaboration? Do you have collaboration around the individuals who are surrounding you? So, yes, I would agree with a comment that says think, implement, manage, and evaluate. But after you do the think, implement, manage, and evaluate, which is an acronym that stands for time, you have to execute. You have to definitely execute, because sometimes we do become paralyzed, that in that evaluation stage we become frozen and not trusting our ideas that we have in the evaluation standpoint. So in looking at who is managing what, how much time are you taking to kind of have a teachable moment, to grow your team and develop them from the roots all the way up to the sprouts of having a successful outcome. So just as the person that shared the comment of it being an acronym, I actually did come up with a couple acronyms that it came across in me preparing for this conversation. So I just want to share their comment again. They were like, think, implement, manage, and evaluate. That is definitely awesome. Again, I would also make sure that from a leadership strategist and disruptor standpoint, that you're not getting stuck in what your brain is telling you to do and what your brain is telling you not to do, that you never get to the execution. So, just for fun, here's some of the other time things I got. Things I may enjoy, that's time. So if you're trying to reconstruct how you can have balance in your day, how are you thinking about the things that you may enjoy? Another one is tears in my eyes, which could be a replenish and a cleansing, but ensure that in your leadership that you understand, if you are experiencing tears, where they have the appropriate placement. Things that I must endure. So sometimes we got to roll up the sleeves and understand, what it is that we must experience, endure, encounter, kind of grow through. These all things shape up time. They have the acronym for time. Things I must earn. Think time, intention, money, and energy. How much energy are you giving yourself for breathing room around how you are managing time? And then the last acronym that I came across that I thought was meaningful for this conversation is think, influential, meaningful experiences. So when you are having a productive meeting that you are leading as the leader in your space of excellence, are you making sure that it's meaningful and purposeful in regards to what the outcomes are and how that space was beneficial to those who participated in the conversation, who participated in the meeting, who can contribute their unique footprint and understanding? We often say that we don't have time. However, we don't always take the opportunity to take a step back before we lean into how we're going to mesh in and how we're going to deal with stuff. So then we're always chasing time because we did not effectively kind of look at our productivity as well as looking at our success ritual. So the success ritual would be, how did you prepare and create? I don't know if you are a spreadsheet person, how did you effectively create a spreadsheet that's going to help you successfully, not the morning of, but then how about the day before? Or did you map out what the next few weeks will look like, or a few days will look like, where you can successfully know what the expectations are, what your routine and your ritual will be, but giving yourself breathing room for the unexpected. So the unexpected are those disruptions. If you maybe have followed some of the things that I have shared, disruptions take you 24 minutes to kind of get back on task. So if you are in your success ritual and planning out what your routine is as it compares to your time, then you will want to be mindful of giving yourself breathing room so that in that implementation and execution, you know that you're going to possibly respond to a phone call, respond to an email, respond to a question that may come through your doorway around something that you all are working on, but recognizing that one, to effectively answer that person and then to get back on task is possibly going to take you 24 minutes to get back focused. So it's like when you know what your success routine is, you are able to, as a leader, step into what it is that you know you need to prepare for. And while you step into that, you have to be mindful of, I want this outcome to be excellent. I want it to have execution. I want it to have clarity. And I want everyone involved to have the confidence with understanding their role in our overall success of getting this done. So, in understanding your role, you have the team script of how you are going from boss to leader, how you may be going from survivor to CEO, because trusting that someone else is going to have the best expectation in mind is definitely a productivity issue, but it also helps you to recognize where your stress usually pops up. Stress usually pops up when you don't clearly have the resources that allow you or that you're able to strategize around how it is that is in the mix and how it is that you could delegate. And so unmanaged stress is a hurricane in the waiting. Like is a waiting and is wanting to kind of disrupt, dismantle, discourage you by impacting not only your leadership, but your lifestyle, your health, your trust, and your confidence, and overall how it is that you lead and guide every decision that you have in your day. And so there's 4 quick tips that I want to leave you with as we think about how are you managing time and task. How are you managing task and time? And which one is the boss of you that you would benefit from being able to rethink the process such that you cannot be into the over functioning thought process, activity, running around, feeling like you missing resources and so forth like that. How are you allowing yourself to reset and think about what it is that you need to do? So again, I have 4 quick tips that I want to share, but I felt like that leadership capacity building conversation was beneficial, because if you just simply say, here's the task, and the person is not in alignment or clearly knowing what your expectations are, then you're already creating the chaos of the hurricane because you're going with an assumption versus taking that beneficial time, not saying, oh, I could just do it myself if I have to explain it. Recognize that you not only build yourself up as a leader when you take the time to find out where it is that you align and have synergy with those around you who are in your team. And then that way the outcome comes together with the puzzle pieces. So the tips: know how you are spending your time. Success strategy. Are you getting distracted with checking emails and going back and forth for emails? Are you having side conversations? Is it the time that you wish that you could spend with your family and friends? Or is it our lovely social media traps that we have? Batch process similar tasks. So if you have similar tasks in your day and your routine and your success and your meaningful connections, what is it that you could batch together and say, okay, I'm going to do this. Now be careful that as you batch similar tasks or similar opportunities in your day together, that's not the same as multitasking, because that would be the next tip, to avoid multitasking. But I want you in the third tip to do batch processing, because there's some things that require the same 2-3 steps that you can kind of knock out in an hour. You can kind of knock out in a 2-hour time frame that you've blocked out and made specific to the strategy that you're looking for. And then last but not least, before you do any of those things, if you have something on your schedule that is the most challenging thing, we often put the most challenging thing or the thing that's going to consume the most amount of time and us building up our strategies and how it is that we're allowing time to manage us or us managing our time is the hardest thing we usually put towards the end of our day or towards the middle of our day. And then it easily gets distracted by those interruptions that take that 4 minutes to get us back on track. The best thing to do with the largest part or the thing that's going to be the most detailed or difficult task thing for you to do in the day is to do it first. Because what happens when you put it and prioritize it for doing it first, then you give yourself the opportunity that it is no longer in your energy, it's no longer in your mind, it's no longer taking up residence in regards to how it is that you can lead effectively overall. So if it's the most detailed, the most thing that's going to call on you the most, instead of putting it in the middle of the day or the end of the day where it can easily get pushed off and then it goes into the next day, and the next day may not be ideal depending on where you place this strategy and intervention in your success ritual. But be mindful that if you do it first thing in the morning, then you no longer have to overthink it, rethink it, have it like taking and consuming up energy that's taking you away from being effective in the other parts of the things that you need to do in a day. An example that sometimes is used for this is if you dread exercising, and exercising is an important part of your daily routine, the thing that will be important for you to do is to start your day with exercise. You will be guaranteed to have more time in your day, more pep in your step, more activated, like your thought process will work out better if you just take the moment to have that exercising moment at the start of your day. That's just an example. But you, as a leader, you begin to prioritize and create the strategy that's going to help you in the most successful way that is going to benefit you in your day. Because sometimes if it is the workout may fit better differently, but whatever is the most difficult, detailed, time-consuming task that you have to do, instead of delaying it, effectively put it in your success strategy that you knock it out first. Because when you knock it out first, it no longer takes up energy in your execution that blocks you from not being able to break the code and break the ceiling in regards to how it is that you will successfully level up. So it's a matter of your discipline. It's a matter of having that mindset shift or that mind shift that might be just a 2 millimeter change that you would do to create that effective strategy and execution with discipline. So when you put these four things together and you look at what it is that's stressing you, but when it comes to the social construct of time, you are able to kind of create and navigate a different conversation with how you effectively not only address the things that you need to address, but also address how you can be effective as a leader with utilizing what is going to be the most beneficial for you. So those four tips again, really quickly, is know how you're spending your time. So what is getting in the way of your time? Are you blocking out the time that it is that you need? The batch process of similar tasks. Avoid multitasking, because multitasking makes you not effective in all things. And you can just really just structure the time that you have. And then the fourth thing is tackling the most difficult thing head on. So tackling the most difficult thing head on at the start of your day or at an earlier part of your day so that it's not consuming that time, intention, money, and energy. Time, intention, money, and energy. Again, we want to execute and not get stuck in our thoughts, because our emotions and how we connect to time does not pay the bills. So I want you to be unstuck. I want you to be leveled up. I want you to be seen so that you can be promoted. But then in all things, build up one conversation at a time. Learn what it is that you need to eliminate so that you can elevate, and use your time effectively, as opposed to time being your boss and is redirecting you and throwing you off whack and causing you to engage in long workday hours because of not having that success ritual that you executed and put in place at the start of your week or the day before you're actually going to challenge yourself with the situations. So that is my leadership nugget for you on this Tuesday morning. I want to thank you for joining me for another cup of coffee or tea. I have my tea in my stress-free mug. And I look forward to seeing you next week and throughout these internet streets, giving you a lot of information and nuggets on how you can elevate in your leadership effectively and be able to realistically not only think that you have a breakthrough, but experience your breakthrough in such a way that you get elevated in the way that you desire. So thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you on the other side, and you have a wonderful, productive, and successful day. Take care. Thanks for joining.